Right, 7 October 2024. And today I'm going to be giving you a quick update on this Monday. So Mondays are my favorite days. And I usually try to give you most of the trending stories that will be taking place in our country. And this weekend was very eventful. I gave you a lot of updates on the elections, but we are back to events that are taking place in ZANU-PF. There is a lot that is taking place. And the next 3 weeks, the most critical weeks, we've gone through the first 7 days. And the next 3 weeks, someone is going to drop. I've already said it to you many, many times. But let's look at what has happened this week. This is the Zimbabwe military generals, or the JOC, the Joint Operations Command, making up the Zimbabwe military, which is the police, prison services, Zimbabwe National Army, Zimbabwe Air Force, and other divisions within the army or military of Zimbabwe. So last week they met over the ZIG. The ZIG is the new currency of Zimbabwe, which has collapsed to zero within the first 6 months. So this currency was recently launched by Mnangagwa, but it has lost all its value. It's no longer being used for any meaningful transactions within the country. And the military is starting to see that this is a repeating cycle and a serious national security threat. I'm sure that they are contemplating or discussing what needs to happen from a security perspective, the potential threats coming from this situation, because this has now been happening over and over again. The Zimbabwe currency has been losing value. Every time they introduce a new currency, it goes to zero. And that is because of the fundamentals. It's clear that the problem is bigger than what everyone else is saying within the government. It's clear that the problem is within. And I wonder what these guys are going to say, what recommendations are going to they're going to come up with. But then what eventually happened is the commander of the Zimbabwe National Army, Sanywatwe, then visited Mnangagwa at his farm. So he went and visited Mnangagwa at his Precab farm yesterday. And you know that anyone who goes to this farm, you can see that he's not in his uniform. So this is not an official business. He is here in his personal capacity to swear allegiance to Mnangagwa's 2030, the ED 2030 program. So the ED 2030 program is firmly on its way. So they are continuing with the ED 2030. They have launched a document about it. If you go into the Herald newspaper, you'll see that they've launched a document on the ED 2030. So that is where this thing is going. We are seeing a move towards an attempt by Mnangagwa to push his rule beyond 2028. So he's trying to go into 2030. And everyone who goes that farm is basically saying, I support that ED 2030. So let's see what happens. As I said, this week, very important event taking place, which is the burial of Chinhoyi. And after that burial, we'll be able to talk about a lot more. The speeches will tell us what is going on there. So if you want to know more about the Vision 2030 manual, so everything is now being pushed to 2030, you can go and check it out in the Herald newspaper. I think there's a bit of news there on this whole thing. Then I want to take you to an interesting development at Chinhoyi University of Technology. I was not harsh on Chinhoyi University of Technology. I was just being honest. But I forgot to mention the new building that they've put up at Chinhoyi University of Technology. This is the Campus Heights and CUT admin block. So this building is amazing and it's been trending all over the place. The Chinhoyi University of Technology has put up this building to cater for students and also administration activities at the university. And it looks very, very nice. It is well done. And as I said, it's trending all over. This was built by the government pension fund. so Public Service Pension Fund, and First Mutual Life Insurance of Zimbabwe. So these are the guys who developed this beautiful building that you're seeing here. It is able to cater for 338 students, and it has facilities such as a room for cleaning your clothes here and a canteen. Very beautiful. I think they've got multiple of these, but it looks very neat. This is one of the best buildings, university buildings that I've seen, especially due to the glass structure outside. So this is nice, and you probably see it in some architecture competitions very soon because of the glass structure. It's very rare for Zimbabwean buildings to have glass. Most of the buildings in Zimbabwe are brick and mortar, and this looks very neat. So yeah, I think this is not open yet, or it is going to be open soon, because I can see construction still taking place at the front. But this is quite a nice thing that has happened at the Chinhoyi University of Technology. Then in terms of other news, today we're going to see the fake doctor from Bulawayo appearing in court. This man is very connected. I do not know what is happening. This man is very connected. After he was rearrested last week, the police have released him, and he's currently right now at home on $100 bail. After he masqueraded as a doctor for a long time, the police have released him, and they say that he explained himself properly, that he was just crossing through the hospital. He was not doing anything illegal, and so the police have released him, and he's going to appear in court today, coming from home. So Dr. Mpofu right now is watching me and thinking, what is happening? Why are these guys even concerned about me? Because I think the crimes that he has committed, they warrant him to be in police cells, but he is not there. Then in terms of South Africa, we have a massive police story that has taken place. This is something that has never happened in a long time. So the man you're looking at here is a serial rapist. He started attacking students in Gauteng and Etwatwa since 2012. And he's got 96 cases or dockets that were opened against him. 43 years old, Nkosinathi Phakathi. He started attacking students around 2012, and he was only arrested through the hard work of a detective called Detective John Mokena without any DNA. So no DNA was available when this guy was arrested, except that this detective here, John Mokena, award-winning detective, one day went around town and he started to take photographs of people that he suspected to be the rapist. And as he was taking photographs, he met a man who was walking around with a 16-year-old girl, and he took a photo of him and sent it around. And on that very day, the girl who was walking with that man reported a rape. And he then started moving around town. When he found the guy, he started to chase him for 15 kilometers or 15 minutes and caught him. This is how this guy was caught, because he knew how to clean up after himself. He never left any DNA evidence. He was only caught by the detective work of this detective warrant officer, John Mokena, who managed to track him down through photographs. And then when you caught him, they took him to the jail, where many other young girls or students started to report him or identified him. So 96 cases. He has been sentenced to 791 years and 42 life terms. This is a serial rapist, this guy here, who has been sentenced to all this time, and he's called Nkosinathi Phakathi. That is his name, and he was sentenced on Friday. Massive case in South Africa. So many serial killers getting caught in South Africa. Then in business, we have Time Bank. Time Bank have released their results in ZIG. So when someone releases their result in ZIG, I don't even read it. I don't waste my time on it, because I know that the ZIG is not a currency, it's not money, it's fake. And when you release your results in ZIG, you're trying to commit fraud. That is what he's trying to do there. It makes no sense to have results in ZIG that is crashing daily, and that is worth nothing. So I don't know what Time Bank is doing. I know Time Bank is the CIO bank, so I don't know whether that is the reason why they have or are forced to release their results in ZIG. And then in another massive business story, Acadium is being bought by Rio Tinto. So this is what we call a parabolic. What you're seeing there is a parabolic. Acadium is a lithium mine that is now the third, or Rio Tinto is going to be the third biggest supplier of lithium batteries or EV batteries after this purchase of Acadium. So the share of Acadium went up parabolically after that announcement. So what you're seeing there is what I always tell you, it's rest, shoot up, rest. It's going to go up even more, this thing. And this is because of the importance of lithium in the manufacturing of batteries. And this is going to continue. So Rio Tinto positioning themselves as the biggest manufacturer of lithium batteries. And if you go to Zimbabwe, there has been a recent purchase of a mine by the Chinese. So Acadium mine has been purchased by the Chinese for $383 million cash. So that transaction has taken place. And the biggest mine right now is near Goromonzi, which has been bought by Zhejiang Hoyo Cobalt. That is the company that has bought the lithium mine, the biggest lithium mine, which is in Goromonzi. And this was bought from Prospect Resources. Prospect Resources was for a long time the owner of Acadium mine, which is in Goromonzi. You have to watch this space very closely. EV batteries are big, and they're going to get even bigger. And the companies that manufacture these batteries are going to also get bigger and bigger. So this is a massive transaction. Acadium now being bought by Rio Tinto, and that is a transaction that is in progress. Zimbabwe is a big player in this space. I think Zimbabwe has got the third largest amount of reserves, of lithium reserves, compared to any other country. And we're going to see a move by the Chinese into EVs. So let's see how that goes. I understand that this is just beginning. And when the Chinese invest, it's sort of opaque. You don't know who is these guys, what are they doing with the lithium? So I don't know when we can get clarity on how much Zimbabwe is really benefiting from the lithium resources in our country. Then we've got an entertainment story. I want to give you an entertainment story here. So this is Monica Mchangwa. On the left, you can see her. She's holding a bottle of water. This picture is from the Herald newspaper. Women Affairs Minister Monica Mchangwa, fourth from left, poses for a photo with newlyweds Krystal Chindori Chininga in orange dress and Peter Andrew Wasnop. So that is a marriage of one of the Zimbabwe ministers with a guy from outside Zimbabwe. I don't know which guy this is, but I don't know about him. Okay, all I know that the two got married, and I don't know who is the lady in the black dress. So very interesting picture here. You should go check it out in the Herald newspaper. Now let's go to H Metro. I did not manage to look at H Metro today. I got quite busy. So let's see what H Metro is saying. H Metro is like the TMZ of Zimbabwe. TMZ means every day there's something new. So they have a big story here, H Metro, about heists. And I don't even want to pretend to be able to unpack that story right now. So I'm going to quickly look to see if there's a smaller story that I can give you. They're talking more about the bank robbery, which happened in Bulawayo. So that is what they've been talking about. And I do not want to pretend to be able to unpack all the stories that are here today. So please go to H Metro and have a look at that newspaper. I do not see any particular story that stands out for me. All I know is that they've been covering the Ghanaians who were using fake Zimbabwe passports. And today those guys are appearing in court. There's a young lady who has been in Zimbabwe since 2018. She was using Zimbabwe documents and they've been covering that story. So you can go check it out. So they're covering mostly that story and the bank robbery in Bulawayo. So check it out in H Metro newspaper. That is the Eco Bank robbery. Then I want to end with the sports. So Highlanders won yesterday. Highlanders is doing very, very well. They are now number 3 on the log. So that is the PSO log. I'll put it on Gambakwe for you. So the way it's looking now, it's Simba Bora has got 60 points after 29 games. FC Platinum, 29 games, 51 points. And Highlanders got 44 points after 29 games. There is no way anyone is going to catch up with the Simba Bora. Simba Bora has got this thing if they don't mess up. But Highlanders doing very, very well. Now back to the top 3. Remember, the Highlanders was at the top for a very long time. Now they are number 3. But what happened is that yesterday, there was a massive boycott. No one was in the stadium when Highlanders played with Caps United. People went to the clubhouse instead, and paid tickets, paid the money directly to Highlanders so that that money does not go to the PSA. Always find Highlanders $6,000 for crowd trouble. So amazing league. Look at the bottom. You've got Areno Movers, Chegutu Wange, and Bikita Minerals. My homeboys are struggling there at Bikita Minerals. They started very well, but I think what failed here is management. So if you see something collapsing after starting well, normally it's because of poor management. So I think at Bikita Minerals, they had poor management because they were doing very well until a certain point. Look at rentals at 29 points and 39 points after 29 games. So whoever is managing Herentals is doing very, very well. These are the guys that, if you find out who is the Herentals coach, you understand what I'm talking about. You need a good coach for this thing to do well. So amazing league that has happened, mostly sponsored. All the teams that you see from the top to tell one day, their companies, all the way down. In fact, the only teams that are community teams here is Highlanders and the Dynamos. And they're also sponsored by Sakunda. Sakunda linked, as I said, to Chinga Dube. So now we know why Tagwire was involved here. Chinga Dube, very much a part of Sakunda, according to my sources. So this has been an amazing short session. We have covered quite a number of stories, but obviously as a Monday is very quiet. It's going to get very busy when Chinga Dube's burial takes place. We're going to have a lot. And so let me recap, and then we'll look at the comments very quickly. We said the Zimbabwe military security structures have met to discuss the rapid and sudden collapse of the ZIG. And this has become a national security threat. What happens next now that the ZIG has collapsed and is no longer considered a currency? No one is doing any meaningful transaction in ZIG. No one is buying a house in ZIG. No one is receiving salaries in ZIG. No one is doing anything meaningful with the ZIG. They don't have the ZIG at their hands. So no one is going to seek cash in the house. What then? This has been a massive destruction of value. And what would these people in the joke say? What is the outcome of that discussion that the ZIG, the military have had over the ZIG? Are we going to take it off? Are we going to get rid of it? What is the next move? Very important that everyone is watching these guys to see what they do next. So very, very important story, and it's developing. If it was me, if I was Mnangagwa, which I'm not, I would definitely say this thing is failed and we remove the ZIG totally. That would be very, very important to do. Now, let's look at the comments. Caps played Dynamos, not Highlanders. Yes, I'm sorry, Mkoma. Caps did not play. Okay, I think you're confusing me. I think Caps played. Yes, Caps played Zimbabwe. Yes, I do not know who Highlanders played ZPC Kariba. Yes, that is correct, Mkoma Trivangani. And then Mkoma Viki, what exactly can the security chief do on a purely economic issue? Yes, they can make a recommendation to remove the ZIG. I saw someone talking about platinum here. I wanted to read that story of platinum. Robert Chuma, with Rio Tinto in Goromonzi, there might be some chance of fortunes for people in Goromonzi and Rua. No, Ngoma Robert, it's not Rio Tinto in Goromonzi. It's some Chinese company that is over there. But what I was saying to you is the transaction that are taking place of interest right now is Acadium being bought by Rio Tinto. This is the biggest trending story in business internationally. Zimbabwe has got an almost a similar transaction that took place where Acadium mine was bought by the Chinese. So this is the mining, the lithium space is big. And I just wanted to bring you that to your attention. Then Mkoma Kuzba says, so can officially say Zimbabwe is being run by military? Yes, that's correct. There's a joke meets every week. And if Mnangagwa, let's say Mnangagwa doesn't do well, the guys in joke are the ones that are going to say, this man is not doing well. But at the moment, you can see the kind of people that are in the joke. You can see Isaac Moyo here on the left. Apparently, this man is very powerful. And then you can see Matanga there at the center. You know my opinions about Matanga. So already you've got two people that you cannot really say up to it. They are loyalists. And you can go through the ranks. There is a lot that needs to be done in terms of our military leaderships. But I think that is beside the point. The point is that the ZIG has collapsed. And what next? You can't just sit there and let it collapse further and further. People are struggling, businesses are struggling. No one in their right senses is going to invest in Zimbabwe when they know that they can't take out the money. So this needs to be addressed. And this is how a government collapses. And I've given Mnangagwa's government 3 months. 27 December, Mnangagwa will be gone if this continues. If he does not make a move, Mnangagwa by 27 December, as I said, will be out of office. So I would like to thank all of you for watching. And I will be back tonight at 10 minutes past 9 as usual. And I'll also be giving you an important and massive announcement at the end of this month. There is a massive change that we're going to be implementing at Gambakwe, and you're all going to love it. So that is the Parabolic, Mr. Parabolic signing out. Thank you very much, and a good